Clients. Let's have a look at clients. So as the name suggests, this is where your clients are, and this is where you mentioned you set up the profiles for your client. You get a long list of your clients, and anything that I show you, you can either do on a per client basis or you can do on bulk. So don't worry that you have to go into a client, come out of a client, go into a client, come out of a client. You can do it all on bulk, and that's normally done by using the drop down over here, so you can assign a program, send a message, toggle the status. It'll all be done to the particular clients that are selected. Now you see some filters across the top for active, inactive, and completed. The kind of syntax for those is active and inactive, as the name suggests. You have active clients and inactive clients. The important point there with them for you is that you're only billed for active clients by us. So that's good anyway from a cash point of view. But inactive, if you mark a client's inactive, the great thing about that is they stay in the system. You can look at back at their history. A client can still log in. You can still message them, but they can't actually have any coaching until they're made active again. You carry on paying. So whether they're having a coaching holiday or some time off, or they left you and come back, you can just set them as an active and you don't have to lose them. So that's a nice important distinction there between that. The completed filter just shows you clients who are near to completion or have completed. I always say never let a client kind of expire on a program without having another program queued up or ready to go, just because it's a win-win for everybody basically. And then on the right-hand side here, you see a list of all the programs that are assigned to a client. Now they can have one or many programs assigned to them. Programs can run at the same time, overlap, in a queue, doesn't matter. So you can either piecemeal your programs together, or you can have one big program that has everything in it. It's up to you, and that's the power of Coachific, in that you can just queue these programs up and slot them in as needed. From the dashboard, you can click on things like the play icons on that to pause it and assign it, so all that can be done. You can click on the filter links here to quickly slice and dice clients by tag, and I'd really recommend tagging as much as possible throughout the application. So if you have clients on a particular program or a particular intake, tag them up, and it helps when your client numbers get up. So you have this little button here that you can always, next to clients, do things. So you can impersonate a client, you can edit them, assign programs, send messages and invitations, and so on and so on. But let's just open the client record and have a look at the pertinent points. So it's very similar to your profile. We've got the tags, and you can key anything you like in there. But there's a couple of other options that are nice on the client profile, is different from the coach profile. So the ones to point out are show activity charts and show activity badges. You've probably seen throughout the application, we show a lot of charts, progress, traffic lights, and things like that, depending on how the client's doing with their progress. You can turn charts and badges off at a per client level, in case you have clients who don't like charts, who don't like, if they're not doing particularly well, you don't want to see red lights going off everywhere, or they might just get overwhelmed by loads of data. So you can turn that on and off. The next couple of settings are show finished programs and clean slate finished programs. Now, as I mentioned, clients can have one or many programs run at any one time. When one program finishes, another one can start. So what you can do is, with show finished programs, when it's enabled, they can go back and look at completed programs and view their history. If you don't want that to happen, you can turn it off. When it's enabled, you can also, so if you are showing finished program, clean slate all their progress. So say they completed their prior program to 100%, you could still leave that on when they go on to any new programs, and their progress is cumulative, it kind of carries on. They might have done terrible, and you might want to wipe the slate clean, and progress is only based on active programs. And if that was the case, you would enable clean slate finished programs. So a couple of really useful settings there. If you're using MyFitnessPal, then the user would key in their username and their password there, and you can check to make sure it's been entered okay, and that's how Coachific automatically syncs up with MyFitnessPal. And that's literally all you need to do. You don't need to do anything else. The goals tab is how you control those kind of traffic lights and charts and things that I mentioned. So if they have a body weight goal or a waist goal or a particular macro goal, so you can see here for the sake of the demo, we've got some values in for the macros, which will color code the macronutrient details when they come in. Social tab is similar to yours, where can be found online. The programs tab is where you manage all the programs that are assigned to a client. And as I mentioned, you can do this on bulk, so don't think you have to come in and come out and do this on a per client basis. As I mentioned, you can click on any of these to start and stop programs. And if you want to edit an existing program, you can just click on it. And really it just shows you the name of the program that's been assigned, when it's going to start, and there's some settings you can override, mostly to do with price. So you could, for example, bill a new price. You could start on a particular day, so you could give them a 7-day trial, for example. Or if they've paid outside of the application, you can actually mark it as paid and the client doesn't get billed. When billing is set up, there's a tab here that shows you all the billing that takes place for a client with you. So you can keep track of whether they're paying, whether they cancelled a subscription in PayPal, whether they're on a monthly payment or a weekly payment or something like that. And then
so is that the way you do it with the payments? Do you integrate with PayPal, do you?
We support Stripe, PayPal, and 2Checkout. So
right, brilliant.
Most of the big players. We're looking at adding some others. It's mostly if we get enough coaches asking for them. But to be honest, Stripe and PayPal literally does the job for pretty much everything.
And you can set up recurring payments through there, can you?
Yeah, so you can obviously have no fee, one-time payment, and then you can have weekly, monthly, and yearly payments as well. So the obvious ones are none, one-time, and monthly. And that's what typically we get coaches using. But it's up to you. And you can have trial periods. You can have the PayPal kind of tax management and things like that as well. So depending on the type of payment processor you choose, that can all be built in. And I'll show you that when we come to the programs. You'll see that.
Yeah.
And then the notes tab, you can keep private notes for each individual client. So they won't see them. You can see them. So if you're making changes or you want to put, you have a chat with them and you mention something, or you just want to keep track of what you're doing for them, then that can all come there on notes. And you can see that on a per client basis. You can also see that on the coach's dashboard. You can upload your avatar here. So here they can upload an avatar. And similarly, when on your account profile, you can upload your logo, and that will be used in the branding throughout the application. So that's the client page.